What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best Poison Animate Weapon Necromancer build in POE of Exile 3.27. This minion build delivers exceptional performance even on a tight budget, though it does rely on somewhat cumbersome summoning mechanic for the ranged arms animate weapon, and even requires gem swapping between mapping and boss encounters. However, once summoned, these animated weapons are incredibly OP, which makes this one of the most fun and powerful minion setups in the game. You'll see faster boss kills and quicker map clearing than both Minion Army and the Poison SRS builds, but of course there's a trade-off. Its defensive capabilities don't quite match the toughness of those two other options. However, our DPS output will be going through the roof. If you're looking for this build's path of building, then click my link in the description. And before we continue, thanks to U4GM, they are a pro website that provides POE of Exile services like cheap currency, then even to trade all types of top quality items and mirrors and much more. They also have more than 20,000 positive comments on Trustpilot, and this website is really worth a try, so make sure to use my discount code KAID for extra 6% off. So let's start with an overview. In 3.26, our gameplay revolves around the Blade Fall of the Tartar skill gem, which replaces the standard Blade Fall. It significantly streamlines the summoning process by continuously generating blades while active, which costs 5% mana per second. But thanks to the Clarity and Mercenary equipped with a Shaper Seed, the mana drain is almost zero. But despite this improvement, the build still has some complexity. You must manually summon all animate weapon of the ranged arms by using the Blade Fall, then swap to the support gems before and after a pinnacle boss, because by switching it will activate 2 green gems, which will give us appropriate damage and utility support. Then the summon weapons will last roughly about 85 seconds, which will require you to either way complete maps within that window, or resummon it mid-fight. Mapping also requires swapping faster attacks and the Vile Toxins for Pierce and the greater multiple projectiles, while the boss fights will call for replacing the Unleash with the Unbound element after the first wave is active. And finally, against tougher enemies, casting Despair will add extra damage boost. So now let's talk about leveling. In the early leveling, the strength is important, so use an Ember Amulet to meet the gem and item requirements. You can also use the crafting bench to add missing resistances for just 1 Orb of Transmutation, even to normal items, and add strength or dexterity for more of these orbs. Don't overlevel the Clarity or Vitality, as their mana reservation can become a burden. Instead, look for a magic Baroness Calling Wand with increased minion damage, which you can get from the Wand vendor. Then Ray Zombie may die frequently before level 24, but the Minion Defense Mastery will help you to recover them on death, so consider not summoning them yet but keep leveling the gem. Then, once you reach about level 20, equip 2 Stone Rings and aim to get all resistances to 75% or even higher. In Act 2, the Val Ruins, you want to corrupt your Absolvation gem at the altar, or a chance at the Val Absolvation. By level 31, most key gems can be bought from the Sayosa in Act 3 library. Then, when you get the Ray Spectre, head to the Old Fields in the Act 2 and cast Desecrate to summon corpses, and then target the Carnage Chief by holding A and covering over the bodies. And then after summoning it, remove the Desecrate from your skill bar. And then begin leveling the 2 extra Ray Spectre and the Animate Guardian gems in the weapon swap slot, so later you could corrupt them to level 21 with the Val's Orb. Next up, when it comes to Ascendancy setup, early in the game you can take the Commander of the Darkness and the Mindless Aggression, because they provide strong leveling bonuses. The Commander of the Darkness will boost resistance and the minion damage, while the Mindless Aggression will increase minion speed and overall DPS, which will help with the clear speed and bossing through the next acts. Then next, a Natural Strength will offer a big power spike by adding +2 levels to all minion gems, which will significantly increase their damage and durability. This makes your minions much more effective as you enter the early maps. And then later, as the content becomes more dangerous, you can respec, so when you get all 4 Ascendancies, then swap to the Bone Barrier and the Mistress of the Sacrifice. Bone Barrier will add vital defenses through the minion damage reduction, life regen, and the Bone Armor skill, while the Mistress of the Sacrifice will let you benefit from the offering effects, such as the Black Chance or Recovery, which will improve our survivability significantly. Overall, this setup is suitable for the red maps and the endgame encounters, by trading some early offense for much more needed defenses and utility. Then for our passive skill tree, we will utilize the transfigured version of the Animate Weapon, which will summon the ranged minions by using blades created by the Bladefall of the Tartus. This setup will allow for sustained minion presence in the instant boss fights without relying on the identified weapons. This skill tree focuses on enhancing minion damage, life and resistances, while also providing increased area of effect and projectile damage. Notable nodes will include a sacrifice for the minion survivability, and the forbidden power for increased energy shield and a mana regeneration. The tree also allocates points towards the Mind over Matter and the Eldritch Battery to convert mana cost to energy shield by improving survivability. Then defensively, the build invests into the spell suppression, block chance and the life regeneration. The Bone Barrier Ascendancy will provide instant leech to further bolster the survivability. Additionally, we will take the Convocation, which will ensure that our minions are repositioned effectively during combat. Then defensively, the build scales poison damage through the passive tree nodes and the gear. So overall, the skill tree is designed to maximize minion effectiveness while maintaining a balance between the offense and defenses. Next up, when it comes to skill jumps, important jumps to use is the Spare, which replaces Conductivity and should be used after the third labyrinth to complete it. And then, once the Unnatural Strength is active, then swap to the Physical Lightning support with the minion damage. The Chaos Damage support is also added for a 5-link setup on the Absolution. The Animate Weapon of the ranged arms is critical for the build, so we obtain it by completing the labyrinth and sacrificing the green gems or buying it in a trade. By using the Gem Cutter's Prism, on this gem we increase the summon numbers and the damage. Then Summon Carrion Golem replaces the Summon Stone Golem for minion buffs, while Precision should be kept near level 10 to manage the mana cost. Then the Steel Skin and Automation will help with defenses and the skill automation. Bone Offering will replace Flesh Offering for defenses, and the Bladefall of the Tartus will summon your animated weapons. Then Bossing and Mapping uses different support setups, so Unleash support speed ups the summoning bosses, but we swap it out mid-fight for the minion damage support. During mapping, it stays active for the constant summon speed, and then when your Animate Weapon gem will hit level 15 and you have a 6-link body armor, then only then you can remove the Absolution. Next we have gear. After the campaign, the game's difficulty will ramp up significantly, which makes it essential to upgrade your basic gear to more suitable equipment. This is where the Chaos Orbs and the other currency you collected during the campaign will become invaluable, so spend them on improving your gear so that you continue progressing smoothly. When upgrading, you want to prioritize life, minion modifiers and resistances on every piece you wear. Minion damage and attack speed stats only will appear on the wands, bone rings and the shields, though the shields cannot roll minion attack speed, but instead can have minion damage. Early on, you can find affordable pre-early gear examples in the Equipment tab to guide you through the upgrades. Purity of Elements can help cap elemental resistance, but you will still need gear that provides resistances, especially the Chaos Resistance, to reach the 75% cap. You want to aim for about 15% elemental resistance above the cap to counter the elemental exposure. A useful method to boost the Chaos Resistance is to apply the Screaming Essence of the Envy on already linked and colored item, ideally on Armor, Energy Shield and Evasion base. And then your end goal is to transition into the Armor and Evasion gear, and focus first on the item affixes over the base type. Additionally, if you find the crafting recipe for the Chaos plus the Elemental Resistance on the crafting bench in the maps, then you can use it further to improve your gear defenses. Next up we have our Mercenaries. Our setup prioritizes a dexterity and intelligence-based bladecaster, or infamous bladecaster for the endgame, ideally the aspect of the Spider and the Grace Auras, which will synergize with the Venomous Shroud. If the Mercenary also has a Bladefall and the Bladefall of the Tartus, then it can free up a gem slot by replacing your own. While leveling for Absolution, look for a Mercenary with the Wrath of the Zealotary. If Venomous Shroud is out of budget, then the Envy or the Haste Auras will offer a solid alternative. The gear that I recommend is the Dual Obliteration Wand, the Caspis Will for the high Chaos Resistance, then the Lear Cast Helmet, then the Azenta's Gentle Touch Gloves or Intimidate Implicit Gloves as a cheaper alternative, then the Inexpressible Fade Boots, and either way the Camo's Binding or the Belt of the Deceiver. Then for jewelry, use the Quiller of the Mines with a high Chaos Resistance roll, then the Odris Danning with a strong Elemental Resistance, and then the Shaper Seed as an amulet. And now finally we have the gameplay. The build revolves around summoning an empowering ranged weapon that attacks enemies independently, applying very strong poison damage over time. The core gameplay focuses on continuously summoning and maintaining these animated weapons by using the Blade Fall of the Tartu skill, which automatically generates blades that serve as your minions. Managing your support gems and carefully gem swapping them between the mapping and boss fights is essential for maximizing damage and efficiency. In maps, you want to keep Unleash support active to quickly summon and resummon weapons as their duration expires, which will maintain a constant pressure on the enemies. And then for boss encounters, you initially use the Unleash to summon your weapon army, and then swap to the minion damage support to boost their offensive output. Your minions will deal very high chaos and poison damage, and scaling well late into the endgame. Defensively, the build relies on layered survivability, including the Bone Offering and defensive auras, like the Steel Skin automated with automation, which provides damage mitigation and endurance charge generation. You'll also benefit from the minion buffs, such as the Summon Carrion Golem and the Precision Auras, which will enhance both minion accuracy and the damage without the excessive mana cost. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous top 10 best builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.